Are you stuck? What about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for 30-minute moments as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. It's time to celebrate that life with 30-minute moments.
Welcome to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman. Hey, you know what? If something has stressed you out in the last 7 days, then listen up, because I was just asked to list 5 things that really stressed me out. All right? Okay, here we go real fast. The repetitive political emails that want my money. Holiday costumes, the decorating, the family, all that stuff, all wrapped up in constant motion. 3, my children, even though I love them with all my heart, you know, their health, their school life, the computer, Fortnite, yeah, all that stuff. Family schedules. Okay, that's 4. Now, and 5th, just keeping up with everybody. So, I know that I'm your radio show host, best-selling author, and I am a thought leader, but guess what? I'm human, just like you. So what I decided, it's time to chill, folks. It's time to chill. So join me November 30th through December 2nd at the beautiful French Lick Resort for a mini retreat. We so deserve this. And on top of that, you're going to get that clear plan to being more relaxed and staying that way through the holidays. And also, you get 1 hour strategy session with me to create a real action plan for what you want most in your life. And then we'll also get a full day of discovering why we react to certain situations, like when the kids sneak in friends or something. And then the best part is that you will get a massage and pampering that will bring so much bliss to your day and your life. So if you are interested in that, you need to get in contact with me, and we need to get you all set up. So go to Alena360.com. and just say, hey, Alena, I am in. Go to the contact page, Alena360.com. Now, let's get started with this show. I am very excited about this show because this man is amazing. Amazing. He's actually a very rare breed in this 20th century. He's a true Renaissance man, which is rare. How often do you hear of Renaissance men? You know, everyone's so specialized now. I'm a doctor of ... No, I'm not general. I'm everything. So now this man is a total Renaissance man. And he's also ultra successful. And he's opened up his creativity. You know, it's that creativity. I love this. He's an entrepreneur, and his name is Dwayne J. Clark. He's founder and CEO of an assisted living place called Aegis. And it's one of the most sought after assisted living facility that is in 30 locations across the U.S., staffs more than 2,000 people, and serves 25,000 residents or more. Aegis has won award after award. Now, that alone is successful right there. But that's not all. Being the Renaissance man that he is, he's also a playwright, and he's an author. And today we're going to talk about one of these cool books, but one of his books is 30 Summers Left, and this one I love, My Mother, My Son. That is just the most beautiful title. And today we're going to talk about what we all want, a big life. So with that, I want to bring on Dwayne J. Clark. Hello.
Good morning. Wow, what an introduction.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Well, you deserve it. Look at everything you're accomplishing. My gosh.
I'm still pondering over your stress list. Yeah, now I'm stressed out. Yeah.
Well, you need to come to the retreat then.
All right.
So, okay, I love it. I think this book, A Big Life, I want to start right on that if you don't mind. Can we start there?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just love this book. Okay, I have to say, folks, I love lots of books, but this one I really love. I love that you have to roll the dice. Literally, you have to roll the dice. Would you share with all our listeners why you have to roll the dice to read the book?
Well, I think that's a little bit like life. Sometimes you roll the dice in life and look for answers, and it's a parody of sorts because the book has a variety of wisdom in it, and I get emails almost daily from people who said, I just got up this morning and I wanted to think about something that was important to me, and I rolled the dice, and I'm on page 56, and this is what it's telling me to do. So it's really a time out, in our busy lives to look and see and have some wisdom in your life. But the bigger issue is it's of really no consequence what people think of my wisdom, because I don't think I'm that brilliant. My wife tells me that all the time. But the bigger consequence is to get people to think about their lives and what's important to them. And that was one of the reasons I wrote the book.
I'm looking at one right now. I wanted to look at it and it just went back to where I didn't want it. Hold on. I want to share, because the wisdom that you have is just, it's so easy, and it's amazing we don't think about it. You know what I mean? But
right.
Like one of them that I just love here, it's you open it up and the wisdom is not, it's just something that you can keep in your mind. Do something incredibly generous for your neighbors. Now, that's it for the day. And that you will reap so many rewards from just that one little thing.
Yeah. Well, the book is actually taken off more than I ever thought it would. The origin of the book really was about 4 or 5 years ago. I started having grandchildren. And, you think about what kind of legacy you're going to have and what do I leave my grandchildren besides material objects. And I thought, well, I'll just write one of these little wisdom books, and it'll take me 2 or 3 months. And it actually took me 4 years.
Oh, sure.
And you may say, well, why would it take you 4 years?
Oh,
well,
no.
It took me 4 years because, if you only have one chance to impart wisdom on your legacy, on your generation of offspring, you want to make sure you get it right. And so I kept changing things and going back and forth and saying, hey, these are the things I really want my grandkids to know. And what happened is something that I didn't think would happen, and that was how it resonated with people in their own personal lives, and how we've lost passing on wisdom through the generations, primarily because of technology.
Yes.
That we don't talk to people anymore.
No, a lot of people don't. I see whole families, everybody's on the phone. And they're separated. They're not sharing things on the phone, like a quote or something that the kids might like. They're all separate, and that communication is so precious. I want to read this one's my favorite. Okay, have an animal you can hug, love, cuddle, and tell anything to. That. Oh my gosh! And the illustrations are just beautiful. It's just that's wisdom that is just so basic, but yet how many of us have animals and we don't sit down and cuddle them? We're too busy running out the door. We're too busy in our lives. It's important, that contact.
Yeah, it's funny, and I have real practical knowledge. I have another book coming out called 30 Summers Left, which is a book on longevity. And, there's great science behind having animals and the longevity it could provide you for the elderly. So, it has real practical knowledge as well. So there's a health benefit to it.
Oh, my gosh, yes, there is. That's that contact, Being the Renaissance man, which you truly are, could you talk a little bit? I want to ask you, do you have maybe 2 or 3 things that you know in you that really made you, well, not made you, but created this mindset that you can just achieve whatever you want to achieve, that you don't have to be stuck in a box, because obviously you have that mindset?
Well, I appreciate that. I think, I tell people that ask me that question, I think the greatest gift a parent could give a child, and I was raised by a single mom, but the greatest gift that my mother gave me was confidence. So when you say, geez, I wish I could do that, you really have to ask what prevents you from doing that. I was listening to a lecture by Bill and Melinda Gates, and who live in my neck of the woods in Seattle, and
yeah.
Essentially Bill was telling Melinda, there's nothing you can't do because of the information age in the generation that we live in. So
that's right. That's very true.
I took up sculpting. I went to Italy. I found a master sculptor.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I'm going to spend, hours with this master sculptor, and I'm going to start sculpting. And because there's so much access to information online and videos and TED Talks and YouTube things and so on, there's really nothing you can't learn about. I don't know that you're going to be proficient. I'm not suggesting someone go out and be a neurosurgeon tomorrow, but there's so many things that you can do. I own a film company, and I've produced about 6 documentaries. And the people would say, "Well, what do you know about producing documentaries?" I said, "Well, nothing, but I'm going to find out." And so, and then you connect yourself with the best people that teach you. You go to the film festivals. You read the books.
That's right.
Go online.
That's right.
There's just, if you have the confidence, that's rocket fuel.
It is. And I was like you. That's one thing I gained from my dad when I was 3, actually. And I remember it. I remember him teaching me swimming and saying, remember, you can be and do anything you want. You just have to really want it. You're listening to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and we're with Dwayne J. Clark.
You're listening to 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you discover your true purpose on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and I am here with this fantastic Renaissance man, Dwayne J. Clark. And Dwayne, I want to kind of change the table a little bit around and talk, because this book, and it seems like you've got a very strong sense of family in you, and like this big life you wrote for the legacy for your grandchildren, and talk about your feelings about the family and how you're doing things for that family life.
Yeah, it's a really good question. About the time I started writing the book, my wife and I went out to breakfast, and we went to a family restaurant, and I looked around and I saw 5 tables with children, and each of the parents were sticking an iPad in front of their child. Instead of having a conversation with them, they were sticking an iPad.
Yeah.
The next night we went out to dinner at another restaurant, same thing, sticking the iPads in front of the kids. And I thought, wow, this is the point in history we've got to where we're just occupying this, this child with some YouTube video, some cartoon.
Keep them busy.
Frivolous, right. Yeah, just to occupy them instead of having a relationship with them.
Exactly.
And, I felt very sad about that. And, if you go back in history, we used to do the opposite. We used to have these rituals where, men went out into the jungle or to the forest and went through rituals of becoming a man, and we'd sit down around the fire, and we'd have all these rituals. Those rituals are gone now.
I know.
And so one of the things that I wanted to happen is, and again, my wisdom for someone may be of no consequence, but what's important, and the feedback I've gotten, I got a call from a woman about a month ago, and she was crying on the phone. I said, "Oh my God, what's happened? What have I done? Have I offended you? What's the problem?" She's like, "No." She said, "My husband and I, who've been married for 25 years, took your book and sat down with my parents." She said, "I learned things I never knew about my family." And she said, I realized that my history had been lost for 25 years because we hadn't asked these questions. And really what the book does is it gives you an opportunity to talk about your life, your children's life, your parents' life, your grandparents' life. They're quotes and parables and so on, but really what the purpose of it is for you to ask your family about these situations that I presented in of my personal situations in the book. Yeah. And it opens up a dialogue for people. And now people, I regularly people say, "Hey, I went on the road trip and I took a Big Life," and hey, I'm at Thanksgiving weekend, we're playing a Big Life with our family, and we're talking about things.
I like that.
And the cool thing for me, the benefit, is that it's bringing families back together. It's bringing history that people never knew about, and that's exciting.
That is I think it's needed. We can learn so much from each other, And when I think back to my family, sure, there were ups and downs, and I was a little rebellious, just a tiny bit in my high school years, but you know what? Those family meetings and our vacations, the things we laughed about, the connection that we had with my brother, my father, my mom, just the idiosyncrasies of our unique family. I mean, I treasure those. I treasure it.
Yeah.
It creates you.
It brings perspective to everybody. Because a lot of times your children don't have perspective about your life and why you do certain things that you do. So there's no baseline for them to understand you. And so when you start divulging these events or this history or how you grew up or whatever, all of a sudden there's an aha moment where the kids have perspective. Oh, well, that's the reason you are the way you are.
Yeah. And to people out there, I know we are so busy, and I know we are running a mile a minute, but you know what? It's those, like Sunday, I always take my kids and my mom out to a lunch every Sunday. And,
wow.
My boys absolutely treasure it. They get such a kick out of seeing mom with her mom. Yeah. They think it's so funny, and they love their Nona more than anything. And it's our little Sunday thing. And little traditions that we have at Christmas that I thought nothing of, they treasure.
Right.
They treasure it.
Yeah.
And they like the goofy ones. Like we always get the family together for a fun photo for Christmas, and it has to be fun and creative. They love that. That's family.
And that's your legacy. I mean, that's who you are. It's part of your DNA. It's what makes you you. And I think that's what brings families together, because that's their identity. And when we're so involved in technology, we start to lose a little piece of our identity.
Yeah.
People hide behind technology in a certain way that, they mask their identity.
It does.
And it's sad for me, because there's no perspective between generations.
It's like when they're on the computer, number one, it's an automatic reward. That's the dopamine. But then they also, everything's always perfect. Everything's always perfect. Everybody's always smiling. Everybody's always having the perfect dinner. But it doesn't allow for you to see real life. And the family's real life.
It's very true. And the point of this is, if we don't start having these conversations, we're going to lose the history of our families. And
we are.
We're going to have generations that are lost. When I first started writing this book, I meet with a group of CEOs every month, and I started telling them my idea of writing this book. And I saw 2 or 3 guys around the table, there's about 12 there, start to get a little cloudy-eyed and tear up a little bit. And I said, man, what have I done? What have I said? And they said, we wish that our mother, our father, our grandparents, we would cherish having their wisdom, at our disposal on a daily basis. So, the generations that come after you, your wisdom is so important. I mean, I would pay anything to have a book that my mother said, hey, these are things that are important to me. Yeah. And so you have to realize, even though you don't think you have wisdom, you do. You've lived a life. You've had things happen to you, good and bad.
Yeah.
These are all important lessons. So I strongly encourage people, to read The Big Life and then create their own wisdom, their own diary of quotes or parables or lessons learned that can be handed down to the generations, because we don't want to lose this important history that we have on this planet.
I think that's a fabulous idea. I think that is an absolutely fabulous idea. If we all just started to sit down, and they can be little things, just like how you did it. This just giving an animal a hug, touching, having a special animal, or whatever it is. Those just little things every day. And if you just write one every day, think of what you're leaving for your children, or a story you remember. That's precious. You are with 30-Minute Moments, and we will be right back.
This is 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you find your inner self every Sunday on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Do you want to be a part of a group that gets things done and stays in touch? Or perhaps you're not being who you truly want to be. Maybe you're relying on someone else to make you happy. It's time to expand your personal growth and take back your power. Join Savvy Sisterhood by Alena Chapman. The ladies meet on Facebook every Monday at 7 p.m. It'll be your first step to your personal growth. Join the group, and the best part is, it's absolutely free. Savvy Sisterhood by Alena Chapman. Find it on Facebook and get ready to take back your power.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments. And guess what? It is the shift. So here we are. Yeah, nobody has written a jingle for me, guys. So you have to hear my homemade jingle. That's it. We are back here with Dwayne J. Clark, okay? And it is time for that aha moment, that pivotal time in his life. And Dwayne, can you share us a time that everybody gets those aha moments. What aha moment got you moving into a different direction or a better direction or whatever?
Oh, I would have to say it was when I was younger. You spoke about you were a challenging teenager. I think I put a capital C in the word challenging. And I was a bit of a rebel and a bit of
me too.
A juvenile delinquent. I enjoyed racing cars and having girlfriends more than I did studying. And I went to a private Catholic school, and I remember a brother pulled me aside and he said, if you could just harness that disruptive energy, because I was also class president. They said, if you could just harness that disruptive energy with your intellect and your leadership, you'd have a great combination. I'm like, I didn't really know what he was saying at 18 years old.
Right.
But what I found is that even though I was non-traditional, I wasn't the straight A student and that kind of thing, that I had skills that if I put them together could make a difference in the world. And
very cool.
That was a big aha moment for me.
Yeah, that is a very cool aha moment, because we're told things all the time. I remember during the toughest time in my life, a friend said, Alena, take care of your own circle. And those words have served me. That was, already 7-8 years ago. And I still think, is this really important? Is this in my circle? Do I really need to? And that has helped me to keep things, not to get crazy, and understand put some priorities in my life. I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing the things that people tell us that if we listen, they really help.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. Now, I want to go back really quick to A Big Life, because I think this book is fantastic, and I think it's wonderful for families, and especially around the holiday season. I think this book can just really, but you were telling me some really, number one, this book is, you're not taking the profits from this.
No. In fact, every one of my books, My Mother, My Son, I wrote a book called Help Wanted, wrote a child's book called Saturdays with Gigi, and this book, A Big Life, and my book that's coming out in January, 30 Summers Left, 100% of the profits go to charities. So a variety of charities, but my motivation is not to make money off these. My motivation is to help people and advance people in their own learning. So,
well, isn't that even your... You talk about leadership is not just being a leader, but also being a mentor and giving back.
Right.
You talk about that a lot.
I think that's all part of it. We all want to leave this spinning ball a little better than when we entered it, and that's legacy. And that if you can leave a path that's better when you leave than when you entered, I think that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, I agree. And then also, so all your books are going to charity, and all this wonderfulness that you're doing, and the documentaries you have out, you're leaving that legacy, which is incredible.
Yeah, and I just encourage people to think more about their legacy. I think sometimes we go through life a little zombie-like and not really thinking. We get up, we go to work, we come home, we make dinner.
Yeah.
Just stop for 5 minutes today and go, what do I want to leave as my legacy? What is it? What will it be?
Oh, that's a cool question.
And then put some energy into it.
I know that your mom was a humongous influence in your life. And before we go, I would love for you to share a little bit of wisdom from your mom that you just treasure.
There's actually a quote in there. My mom said, "Love all, trust few, always paddle your own canoe." That can be interpreted in a variety of ways.
Yes, it can.
But essentially, the way I interpret it is, I have to believe in me. I can't put my faith in others, and oftentimes others will disappoint you, but you'll never disappoint yourself.
Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. Well, thank you so much for being a guest, and I think
it's been my pleasure.
You have brought a lot of wisdom to us all. I just love it. And for everyone out there, this is 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman. And we're for creating more ease and betterment in your life every day, and I think this show really did it. If you want to learn more about Dwayne J. Clark, how can they get hold of you?
Well, you can actually have my own website. It's called DwayneJClark.com. So Clark doesn't have an E, it's CLARK. And so you can just go DwayneJClark.com and my website will pop up.
I love it. Perfect. And if you want to learn more about your host, you can always go to Alena360.com. And until next week, namaste, and make it a wonderful week.
This has been 30-Minute Moments featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now at wowo.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.